A decision on this year's SEA exam will be made this week, so says Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, who at Saturday's media briefing at the Diplomatic Centre noted that there were still concerns to be ironed out regarding setting a date for the 2020 exam.
During this week, and the date should be known. There's a view that the exam should take place in October. There are other views that the exam should take place earlier. We're going to make a decision on that this week.
Prime Minister explained that there were some people advocating that the exam be held in October and others for it to be held sooner.
Some people believe that it should be in October, but then that would have far-reaching consequences. It would mean that the first term would be sacrificed. There's another view that we could get the exam done in time to save that term. So a decision would be made on that this week. Because if the exam can be had earlier to get the children into school by September, if that could be done without too much logistical trauma and impossibilities, we'll see if that is the one that we go with.
Meanwhile, the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association is hopeful this year's SEA exam takes place in October. TTUTA President Antonia de Freitas says teachers believe face-to-face interaction for a period of time with their students is imperative before they sit the exam. Crystal Wilson tells us more.
It's been months since schools were ordered closed by the Ministry of Health to safeguard against the spread of COVID-19. Since then, uncertainty surrounds the setting of a date for secondary entrance assessment examination. When TTT News reached out to TTUTA President Antonia de Freitas, she suggested the exam be set for October 2020. She said this will allow teachers time to engage their students to ensure their preparedness for the exam.
4 to 6 weeks after the opening of school in September, the students should be able to write the essay. That would give enough time for the teachers, as I said, to interact with all students.
The TTUTA president says during the COVID-19 downtime, only some of the nation's student population were able to benefit from the online learning platforms. But Ms. de Freitas reminded this was not an option for all children.
So having not been able to engage with all students successfully, we believe that we will be promoting inequity and promoting that kind of difference in ability to succeed if we allow the exam to go on during July or August.
And with CSEC exams scheduled to begin in July, the TTUTA president said teachers have raised a number of safety concerns. Among those, whether competent medical professionals will be present for screening of children at schools across the country during exam time.
Any student who comes to the exam center ill or presenting particular symptoms, would we have competent Ministry of Health personnel available at all of the secondary schools to do the screening that is required to ascertain whether or not some children should be left on the compound, yes or no, to do the examination? And if the child, for some reason, has to leave the compound, who takes the responsibility for ensuring that that child has another chance at doing the examination at another sitting, which would be in January of 2021.
Prime Minister Keith Rowley announced on Saturday that a date will be set this week for SEA 2020. Crystal Wilson, TTT News.